I'm all in for. These two have been going at it since the 50s. Actually, the more popular of the two came after the originator, which came in 1953. And like I said, they've been going back and forth 1 and 2 for the longest. And now this one company has taken a stranglehold to the marketplace and will not stop. Now, again, I love a good debate. You know, LeBron or Jordan, Trump or Biden, any number of things. But right now, I'm talking about Burger King and McDonald's. Yes, I'm on some old fat man stuff right now. I'm talking about McDonald's and Burger King. That's right. And all you old fat men out there, slap your belly one time for the one time. We got some pettiness brewing. Now, as you know, these two go back and forth all the time. Actually, on Twitter is a godsend for petty, because the two go back and forth on Twitter all the time. Actually, to be honest, Wendy's takes first prize on Twitter, because Wendy's will say anything and everything. But between McDonald's and Burger King right now, there is a commercial that's running in Denmark and Sweden where they are asking, basically, where is Ronald McDonald? Now, again, Ronald McDonald was a staple for us back in the day. I remember Ronald McDonald. I was born in 1968, and Ronald McDonald stayed on my TV between shows with these commercials. Ronald, Hamburglar,
Robble,
my man, the big purple sloth. What was his name? I forgot.
Grimace.
Thank you.
Grimace.
So you've got these characters that help propel McDonald's to where they are, and McDonald's basically fired them. You don't see them anymore. And in particular, when you're marketing to kids like McDonald's is wont to do, you would think that they would use these characters, but these characters are no longer around. And
no movie tie-in for them.
Right. Well, and they don't sell merchandise like they used to, which is all that's
there you go
right now.
There you go.
I came across a commercial the other day where Burger King overseas is basically calling out McDonald's and asking them where Ronald McDonald is. Roy, is it possible we could bring that up real quick?
Si, senor.
Thank you, sir.
Cancel, clown. Cancel, clown. Cancel, clown.
So basically, Burger King said, McDonald's, y'all ain't shit because y'all fired Ronald McDonald and turned him into Candyman. Now, for those who may not be familiar, Candyman was a horror film. Did it come out in the 90s, I believe?
Early 90s, late 80s?
Late 80s, early 90s. Starring...
yeah, somewhere around there.
Starring the iconic black horror actor Tony Todd. And
yes, sir.
In order to summon Candyman, you had to stare into a mirror and say Candyman 5 times.
92.
92, thank you. And you've got Burger King basically saying, you have canceled this clown and made him out into this vengeful spirit who's coming looking for anybody that says his name into the mirror 3 times. I think this is brilliant. Bravo, Burger King. I like y'all burgers better anyway. And McDonald's, that's what you get. The pettiness is real, and I love it. So
nanny boo boo.
Pettiness at its finest. First shot over the bow goes to Burger King. DJ, we're gonna be comparing and contrasting on some old fat man stuff later on. But what are your fondest memories of Ronald McDonald?
Was what? Say it again. What was the last part?
What are your fondest memories of Ronald McDonald and the fact that he's no longer with us?
You know, that's tough. Because I mean, it's a clown.
Fat man
He
stuff.
got these goofy friends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, there's a little bit of dirt on him. There's a little bit of street to him because you got Hamburglar. He rolling with his with the Hamburglar and Grimace. I don't know what the hell Grimace was. Other than a weed head, that's the only thing I could think of was, big fat dude, always at McDonald's,
Right.
purple, just weed head, so.
What was Grimace? What was he supposed to be?
Purple dude.
I don't know.
A big purple sloth. Okay. Well,
big purple sloth,
but,
yeah.
But you know what's funny is that talking about horror in these advertisements, the Burger King is the scariest thing if I saw that in a dark alley, I would turn and run away every time. That thing is creepy.
But you know what? That happened once they stopped using real people to do that to be the Burger King. Like I had a party. Well, I was trying to have a party at Burger King. I actually got pictures of it. I had my 8-year-old birthday party for me turning 8. I had a McDonald's. But I wanted to actually have it at Burger King. And they literally used to have a red-haired, bearded guy who would come out dressed up like that. So I'm assuming he was somebody for the region that they used and different stuff like that. And they may have had a couple.
Right.
But when they started using that head.
Yeah.
That's the creepiest part about it is that head. I mean, clowns are creepy. Okay, we know that. But that head on Burger King is frightening.
Yes. That is not a good look.
At all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, if McDonald's really wanted to come back. Yeah.
Well, before we go any farther down that particular rabbit hole,
all right.
Michael B. Jordan is producing or in talks to produce a Static Shock film. So anyone who is an avid watcher of this show knows how much I pine for the Milestone characters from DC Comics to be used. Milestone was a offshoot of DC Comics that would use writers and creators that created content of characters of color, essentially. And it just seems now is the perfect time, in particular because all black everything seems to be happening, that DC should utilize these characters because you got Black Panther who did gangbusters at the box office. I don't understand why DC just refuses to actually put these characters out. The one problem that the characters or the legal rights for the characters, they were in litigation with one of the creators' widows, is now over. So now you've got an opportunity to take these characters and run with them because you essentially DC, as bad as DC does in bringing characters to life, they would be hard. No, it wouldn't be hard for them to. They could still mess it up. But you've got a library, a literal library, a universe of characters that you can use to push out there and promote and publish. So I'm over the moon about this. I think Michael B. Jordan is the right person to spearhead this. You've got that name. Plus, he usually puts out solid content. And I think it's past time. I think that when the comics were out, they were ahead of their time, and now is the perfect time. I've used time a lot in this particular segment. Now is the perfect time for these characters to come out. DJ, are you familiar with any of these characters?
Well, I was going to say, I'm not as familiar with Static Shock except for, some of the stuff that I've been seeing over the last few years. But I was going to ask you, my brother, why do you have why Static Shock? Like this is more than a few times you brought up Static Shock. What about the character Static Shock really, really sticks out for you?
Static is our Spider-Man, essentially.
Okay.
A young teenage black male who stumbles upon these powers. So he basically has to maneuver school, girls, supervillains, gangs. Gangs are a very real part of this. It's a slice of urban life that is brought forth, and being someone who grew up seeing nothing but white teenagers and white men as superheroes, Static in the 90s for me was a godsend. Now, the interesting thing is, when Milestone Comics first came out, they pushed another character to the forefront called Hardware, who, for those who may not be familiar, Hardware is the story of a black man who is a successful engineer and inventor who works for a white man, of course. And the I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said of course, but the white man doesn't necessarily steal his ideas, but he takes his ideas and basically keeps the brother where he is. So the brother has reached his glass ceiling; he cannot go any farther. And the analogy that
of course, I'm sorry,
the very first issue, and this is how powerful this is, DJ. The very first issue, they tell a story of a bird that's trapped within a house, and it keeps trying to fly out, and it keeps hitting the glass window until it basically kills itself. It breaks its neck.
Oh wow!
Right.
Okay.
So you see where this is going.
Yeah.
There's another character called Icon, where anyone who sees it would automatically think this is a Superman ripoff, and it kind of is, except that it's told through the eyes of a teenage girl who he befriends and becomes his sidekick. Icon is a strange visitor from another planet who comes to Earth during slavery. His pod is opened by a black woman, and he assumes that form. And he is not immortal, but his lifespan is a lot longer. So he's lived.
Wait a minute. Stop for a second.
I'm sorry.
He comes. The pod comes down.
Yes.
The black woman opens it up.
Yes.
He assumes the form, except male.
Yes. A baby.
You know, women. You know, sisters gonna have a problem with that, right? Why couldn't he take the black woman form? That's who opened the door.
Well,
Why he had to look like a black man?
You know what? And that's a good point. And as I was saying it, I was like, oh shit. but here's the rest of the story. Because his particular species has such a long lifespan, he lives through the Civil War. He lives through all of these different eras, and he keeps reinventing himself. And he's a lawyer now. And one night,
naturally,
a young lady and two young gentlemen break into his house trying to steal stuff. He stops them. The girl recognizes him, if I remember the story correctly. And she comes to him later and says, okay, I know you're a superhero because you stopped us and we shot you and the bullets bounced off, so on and so forth. She becomes his partner. The young lady becomes his mentor and guide. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Kind of flipped it around. So the story is really about his sidekick. Her name is Rocket, but Icon is the star of that comic. But and I could go on and on about all the comics that came out of Milestone. But Static is the one that sticks because Static is the most popular from the line. You see what I'm saying?
No, I got you.
It had the cartoon. It had the merchandise. It tied in to the Justice League Unlimited other cartoon series. There were some crossovers between the two. So Static, of all the titles on the Milestone line, Static is the most popular.
Okay. Well, like you said, Black Spider-Man, black except with hoodlums and hood rats. So I get it.
And ironically, Rocket became the next character that got the most pub because they ended up putting her in several of the female groups that they did with DC and bringing her into Young Justice. Yep. Yeah.
So on the cartoon Young Justice, Icon and Rocket are actually in that too. Static is too, as a matter of fact.
Well, I love what they did with Static when they did the Justice League series when Batman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern went to the future in the past. Yeah. And his son was there, and Static was old. Static was an older guy. So,
I mean, it's again, this is just my joy in seeing us in a medium that I have loved all of my life and never really saw.
Absolutely, no, absolutely.
So Michael B. Jordan, yes, and of course with the advent of the Static, and for clarification, the hero's name is Static. The cartoon was called Static Shock. It gets on my nerve again because I'm a bougie black old nerd. When people call him Static Shock, it gets under my skin and works my nerve because the character's name is actually Static, but the cartoon is called Static Shock.
Gotcha.
Tomato, whatever. But as I was saying, so Michael B. Jordan, there's also talk of a whole Milestone universe, which again is perfect because now it's all about having a tentpole project and establishing all these minor characters. There are so many different characters, diverse characters, not just black, Hispanic, or is it Latino? I don't want to say it wrong. Of Hispanic descent, I'll say that.
Latinx characters. Latinx
characters, white people, homosexuals, heterosexuals. There's a
diverse.
Yeah, there is a character in the comic Blood Syndicate. Now, Blood Syndicate is basically the X-Men for Milestone Universe. Blood Syndicate is a superpowered gang.
So what I was about to say, not necessarily the X-Men, more like the Brotherhood. If you think, because like I said, they're villains. Blood Syndicate is not a hero team.
They're anti-heroes.
Yeah,
they're anti-heroes.
Right, because
they're like the boys.
Because they're not knocking over gas stations or anything, but they're protecting the neighborhood, and they actually are groups of characters from different gangs who gain superpowers and group together. So one of the characters in the Blood Syndicate is called Masquerade, and he is this guy who can change his form into any type of animal. About halfway through the run, it's discovered that Masquerade is actually a woman who is posing as a man. So that's like your first transgendered character ever in comics. Which again, this is the 90s. Which this type of thing was unheard of at the time in this particular medium, you know. So I mean, and this is a character who that particular audience is looking for, and DC has it sitting there on a chair, and they're literally sitting on it. So hopefully this brings about a change. These characters can come to light. Dwayne McDuffie, God rest his soul, one of the comic creators who I feel is a genius, who has passed away. Hopefully he'll get his due as someone who, in this particular medium, bar none, he was a genius.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Before I go any farther down that particular rabbit hole, and I got pretty deep down up in there, I have to admit. The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian
yes, sir.
is back. Can I tell you the issue I have with the Mandalorian?
Uh-oh.
I mean, I have to have an issue. What's the name of this show? I have to have an issue.
That's true.
I like the show, but I think it is a deliberate cash grab with that Baby
Yoda. Well, okay. I know they probably hoped, but who knew that Baby Yoda was going to be so cute and was just going, just take off and everybody was just going to love Baby Yoda? I mean, who knew?
Once they made the model of the puppet for Baby Yoda, the first thing that came to their minds was, oh my God, we are
going to sell so many.
How much merchandise are we going to sell off of?
Did you see the robot that they came out for this Christmas season that follows you?
No.
It's like a Roomba. It's just you turn on it, and something about it, like it locks in on and it follows you around the house.
You realize, as a species, the human race is doomed. We're going straight to hell in a
Hey man, after 2016 and 2020, I mean, pretty much we're set on a path already. So, I'm just waiting on them close encounter songs, them notes to cut. I'm just waiting. I got my towel.
But if you were an alien species, and this is a serious question, if you were an alien species monitoring us, why in the hell would you come down here? I would literally wait for humans to just destroy themselves and then come occupy the planet.
Yeah, but see, the thing is like if they wait until we destroy it, then we gonna really like tear it up. They gonna come down. They should come down first, like early, and be like, wait a minute, we just want to get rid of y'all before y'all like tear the whole thing up, all the natural resources and everything. By the time you guys are done with it, ain't nobody gonna want it. Like, old girl at the end of a party. No, never mind.
Oh my God. So anyway.
I was gonna say with WNUA, with NUA, but never mind.
But look, we've already got a pandemic going on where basically people are fighting to kill themselves. Who are fighting to not wear then.
Hell no.
Hey, look, but you know what? Watch our ratings spike. Baby Yoda, special grumpy old nerds with a special appearance by Baby Yoda will break the internet. We'll break the internet.
Yeah, I thought this was your special guest coming,
But no, man, this is just, and the Star Wars franchise, and I have to be very careful because I used to work for George Lucas' wife. Fuck it, I don't work for her anymore. The Star Wars franchise has.
I'm about to say, you got on the shirt?
Yeah, I do. You're right. The Star Wars franchise has gone. Okay, let me ask this question. Has the Star Wars franchise done irreparable damage with all of the prequels and sequels not being as popular or being as critically acclaimed as the first three films?
I think the last one, and I was actually going to...
Go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that about the comments that you were making about the cash grab and stuff. I don't think it's cash grab. I think it's major surgery is what the Mandalorian is. Because now you're bringing, they've given Jon Favreau, however you say his name, Happy.
Favreau.
Yeah.
Favreau.
They've given Happy the reins to do what he wants to do. And he's a Star Wars fan. So I honestly think, because it makes a lot of sense, especially when you look at Yoda as a character that was never really developed outside of who he was. We didn't know anything about Yoda.
And he was the man.
Right. All we knew he was 900 years old.
Right, but who didn't really dig into Yoda? They did, like you said, they really didn't do much with Yoda like they could have. Yeah. But that was the man. I mean, who didn't want to be trained by Yoda?
And now you're talking about resetting because they did such a horrible job with the three sequels. The last three, they like completely. It's like you literally destroyed the mythos, is what they did of what had been created. And now they have an opportunity because remember, where did this take place at? This storyline takes place immediately following Return of the Jedi. Right. So they are all this nonsense they did. They are resetting all. I guarantee you, they're going to do some more movies, and they're going to go back closer to the source material than what they did.
Well, you've also got one of the stars of the film, John Boyega, who basically said the only reason they hired me was because I was black. They had the character of Finn in those films was paper thin. There was no development. At the end of the second one, the Last Jedi, I believe it was.
Yes.
He and Rose kissed, and you're thinking, okay, the next film they'll kind of dive into that relationship. She said she had to go somewhere else and dip, and we never saw her again.
Well, we didn't see Rose, right? They showed her in some of the stuff. She was in a few things in the third.
Very small, but I mean, you've got a situation where they're throwing characters at the screen, and whoever sticks. And John Boyega, God bless him, he was like, "Fuck my career, Star Wars." Jacked me because I wouldn't have signed on to do this if they just wanted a black face on this particular character. And for Finn and for actually what's the Isaac? Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac with
right.
Poe Dameron.
Yeah,
the character of Poe Dameron, the character of Poe and the character of Finn had absolutely nothing to do.
Well, you know what they did? They did sort of like you thought they would be more engaged in the process, but it basically ended up being stories about Ray. Everything was centered around Ray. But the other thing, what I did notice that they did, and I think they probably these are little tidbits that they wrote in, I think, to try to beef up some of the stuff. But like when they did the whole thing with the other stormtroopers that were on that planet at the end, when they brought them in, and they were like that all of the same stuff that happened to Finn happened to all these other people. So now they're bringing in this stuff, but of course, like I said, it's over, and it's you're the thing. And then they did make one of them black, and he did look like he was trying to have some interest.
But am I supposed to just be thankful? Oh, okay, there was a black face on the screen. Thank you. And here's my example. Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and Han Solo are etched into film and genre
Sci-fi
lore
right?
as the three main characters of Star Wars. They
Wait a minute, hold on. Don't forget about we had two black people. We had Chewbacca. We had Darth Vader.
He said two black people. God bless you.
Oh, and Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, the actual black.
Oh,
guy.
And Lando.
Don't get me started. They wouldn't even think about putting Lando in the films until there was a public outcry that he wasn't in the first two sequels.
Right.
And they were just like, okay, let's throw him a bone and throw Lando in there. Hell, he's the last living member.
They actually did. That's why they did it. They did. Well, no, because Harrison Ford's still alive, but they killed him in the movie.
Right. But
they did that because they added him in because Carrie Fisher died. It was after all of that happened.
But Carrie Fisher died, and I still believe because of the public outcry, because Lando was an integral part of the first three, and then they're just like
the second
ignore him.
The 2 and 3. Yeah, 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3. Right.
It's just like okay, what's the point? I give George Lucas credit for building this universe, but in terms of just long range planning, I don't think he really understood how much farther he could go with this, and it blows my mind how, and I'm included, how people will still jump on this gravy train and go see these films, and it's just like, okay.
Well, I think
it's cotton candy. You know what it is? It's cotton candy. You eat it, and 5 seconds later, it's gone.
I think he did know.
No calories or nothing.
I think he did know. I just think the people who ended up taking over it, everybody was familiar with Star Wars, but again, the biggest issue is they didn't follow the source material. Had they, I guarantee you, even if it had just been the whole Jedi, if they would have put the Jedi twins in it.
And by source material, you're talking about the books.
The books, right, that they ended up doing after the movies. Because remember, all the books came out after the movie. The movies were already set, so they created the rest of the universe after that. Right. And see, you would have had it, because Luke was supposed to have started a larger Jedi Academy, not like the one that he had where he had a few students. Like, they were thinking of something like what we saw in the original movies. You were thinking that that's what you were going to get. And, of course, in that, I think, especially after the success of or the popularity of Mace Windu, and then, like you said, the Lando Calrissian piece, guarantee you they would have had to have more black people in it, if they did. And I think some of these people, somebody in that whole, I don't know, those last 3 were Disney, right? All 3 of them. Yeah, somebody in Disney just dropped the ball. I mean, they made a very bad decision on which script they were going to go with. And like I said, I think that's what they're trying to do now, is they're going to reset all of that stuff with The Mandalorian. They're going to reset everything.
I don't know about reset. That would be hard to reset those films.
No, it wouldn't, because nobody liked them.
No, there are some out there who like the film.
No.
That's a whole lot of money to just say, you know what? Forget the films. Forget those 3. Let's just go ahead and start this all over again.
John, who are we talking about?
Oh, it's Disney, yeah.
Okay, exactly.
But I mean,
money's not an issue, especially when you think think about it. You do it right, and think about what you're going to make.
Well,
okay, but wait a minute. All right, hold on. Let me jump in here for a second. Let's go back for a minute. George Lucas created this, right?
Yes.
It's his baby. Mm-hmm. Like we're talking about Gene Roddenberry in Star Trek.
Right, basically.
Okay. So, yes, the first 3 which would be the middle three in history.
4,
but
5, and 6.
the first three, right? 4, 5, and 6. He did his thing. We were all fans. We all gaga. We grew up with it. It's legend. Now, he was involved in the prequels, right? 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
He created Jar Jar Binks. No, seriously, I think that has, with all the backlash he got, I think it pissed him off to the point where he was like, well, fuck it then. Y'all make the next 3. Since y'all was so mad at Jar Jar Binks and I got all this guff and I'm married to a black woman but this is bullshit, blah blah blah, and then there was so much content from all the other people who wrote. I mean, all these Star Wars followers that wrote all this content and stuff. I think that George Lucas is like, you know what? I got too much bullshit over the prequels 1, 2, and 3. That you know what? You guys just go ahead and do it because I don't want to. I don't want to, mess up, with another Jar Jar or whatever. And so I think that Boyega was a direct result. And I get it that he's like, oh, you just want it because I'm black. But they needed, after Jar Jar and after all that bull, they needed like a lead. They needed a black lead for a change. Not just an afterthought in Lando, not just an afterthought in Mace Windu, or, a perceived black man like Darth Vader and his black voice, but but of course it turns out to be a white man in the end. I'm just saying it's like to me that's where the whole Boyega thing came from. It's like, okay, we got to put some color in here somewhere because we're not going to make the same mistake that Lucas made with Jar Jar. So we gotta fix that.
But here's the thing: if you're gonna do that, don't hire J.J. Abrams. You've got the Star Trek fan base who are irate at this man for what they consider screwing up that franchise, and now you're gonna hire him to continue the Star Wars franchise as well. My goodness, that's just. I mean, again, they made money. I guess you really can't say
JJ makes money.
He does, and
he makes money. And in the Hollywood system, system, you got those names. Now Jordan Peele has got his name in the bucket. J.J. Abrams. There are certain names that, like, if we attach, Favreau. There's these names. But the beautiful thing is that there are other names that are coming along. Like I said, Jordan Peele is in there now. DuVernay, Netflix is all in on Ava DuVernay. And now that they didn't pull Shonda Rhimes away from ABC over some Disney tickets.
Over Disney. Lord have mercy. Boy, Disney, you don't know what you did. Lord. And she's still making money off Disney, too. She's just like, I'm not just working for y'all no more. I'm out.
I'm curious to see what they allow Ava DuVernay to do. Having had the opportunity to actually meet her and talk to her really briefly.
Wait. What do you mean allow? She's already did When They See Us and 13, which are huge successes.
No, but I'm talking about, okay, I said that wrong. Not Disney, DC. I'm interested to see what DC is going to allow her to do.
Oh, okay.
My bad. I said that wrong, yes. Because
I don't really think you can stop Ava DuVernay from doing shit. If they say no to anything, I think she walks.
That's what she did with the Prince by
If they say no to anything, I think she walks. She's got that kind of power now.
And that hurt me to my soul when she said that she walked away from that because of creative differences. I was just like, God, dog, if they about to mess this up. Because Ava would have told you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And,
nothing but the truth.
Right. And it just kind of seems like somebody behind the scenes was like, oh, Ava, I don't know if we want to show that side. And Ava was like, oh, I can't tell the story the way I want to?
Right.
His family wanted her. His family was like, her no.
Right. So now I believe that's still in production, just not with her attached to it. Again.
Well, here's the funny part. After stuff like that, after Ava DuVernay, walking away, after Shonda Rhimes walking away, they're kind of getting a taste. The Hollywood system is kind of getting the taste like, well, damn, maybe we can't, play it like we used to, where it'd be like, oh, you need us more than we need you. No, it's a different game now. There's actually black skin in the game now, so to speak.
Right.
And
So
they're like, hey,
we don't have to take your breadcrumbs. We can create.
And I'm sorry, Tyler Perry Studios. I know what you think about them, but what I'm saying is, you have Warner Brother Studios, you have Paramount Studios, you have Tyler Perry Studios.
Well, actually,
so there is
DJ. Actually, but if you just look at sheer size, he's bigger. He's actually bigger than his studio is the largest studio in the country.
I know, and you know that, and now they're gonna learn that.
Right. Yeah, he's got the largest as it relates to size, physical size of the studios.
Right. So there's an option now. There are options now, and all the streaming. There's no shortage of streaming.
Well, what it is,
just because there's Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix is getting on board because there's Quayle TV. There's so many different there's so many different possibilities now that with the money behind it, anybody can start their streaming service and say, okay, you don't want to play with us, fine, we'll do our own.
And here's the other thing.
That's where we are now.
Yeah, DJ. Here's the other thing to that, John, that we really have to think about. What's actually happening? Netflix studios, Hulu studios, Amazon studios are the new distribution houses. So they're actually competing with the movie companies, and they're saying, no, bring your stuff over here. Yeah. We'll sell it. We'll give you that $20 million budget because we know what it's
and with COVID. Wait, and with COVID, the movie studios don't have the movie houses anymore. They don't have theaters anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. All of that is very true. I have 2 points that I want to make before we go any farther down that rabbit hole because we've, again, gotten pretty deep. Number one, DJ, when we go write that movie script, it's going to make us $1 gazillion so we can come down here. You come down here and present it with me to Tyler Perry, and I'll wear the dress. No. That's number one.
Because already.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, because I'm light-skinned, you dark-skinned, you think he'll like you better with a dress on?
Y'all went there on that one.
And Tyler Perry, if you're watching this, and I know you're not, please don't take any of this personally. It's just jokes.
But if we go, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Hold up. If we go sit in the interview, then somebody gonna dig this up. Well, you see what he said about you in that.
Oh my God! I've been talking about Medea in space for like years. If one of his people hasn't dug that up, they're not doing their job. To be very honest.
No, they're gonna dig it up. If we go sit in the room and we got the script talking about, we'd love to work with you. Somebody gonna dig that shit up.
Now hold on, because Mario had something. Oh, I was gonna put my glasses on.
So Mario talking plenty shit. Matter of fact, you better get up off my Yoda.
I'll read it to you.
He's like Yoda got his ass whooped by the Emperor.
Yeah, I'll read it to you what he said. He says, and actually I agree with it. Names. He said, names I like: The Expanse. The politically powerful black man isn't Lando, not Mace. It's Fred Johnson. I like hearing how is Fred Johnson going to react to the situation on Mars. Now, have you guys watched The Expanse?
I haven't watched The Expanse, but I've heard nothing.
Oh, hell yeah.
You've never seen The Expanse?
Oh, no.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you got to watch that.
Oh, dude. Are you missing out?
If you need a binge,
man,
you need to watch The Expanse.
You need to watch The Expanse.
Well, before y'all whoop my ass, I guess I need to go watch it. Yeah. Well, that brings up another point. Instead of watching The Expanse, I tried to watch Medea's Big Happy Family.
Oh, yeah, I saw you looking for stuff, but okay.
So let me give you the setting, okay? So I told my wife, I said, okay, so I've got to watch this as an experiment because I've never really watched a Tyler Perry movie all the way through. And I have to, it's like a little kid saying, well, I don't like tomatoes, but they've never eaten tomatoes. How do you know you don't like tomatoes unless you tried it? Okay.
Wait a minute. You watch Big Happy Family, not The Reunion?
I watched Big Happy Family. And this is on the recommendation of a bunch of dolphins on Facebook. Okay. So.
Okay.
I told my wife, I said, okay. She said, well, here, I'm going to sit down here too because I want to watch you watch it. I was like, what are you talking about? So the movie comes on, and I am thoroughly uninterested from the get-go. And it's just like, it's just there's very little plot moving. It's just a lot of people talking about each other. And Tyler Perry in various costumes.
Did you finish it?
No.
Okay. So to this day, John still has not watched the entire Tyler Perry movie.
So you still haven't seen the Tyler Perry movie?
Or is it a Medea movie that you haven't seen?
A Medea movie.
So have you seen any of his non-Medea movies? Okay.
I've seen bits and pieces of.
We're talking about stuff that he's written, is what we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
So like we're not talking about Alex Cross.
No.
Okay.
I'm talking about. I've seen bits and pieces of Good Deeds. When he and Gabrielle Union had a sex scene, I erupted in laughter.
I'm sorry.
And shut it off.
Pause.
Well, it was supposed to be funny.
Pause. The
Tyler
sex scene
Perry?
between Tyler Perry and Gabrielle Union.
Yes, because that was his wife, right?
Tyler Perry and Gabrielle Union had a sex.
Yeah, that was supposed to be funny because it was about her and her rigidness and how she was, and it was controlling. See, that was supposed to be comedic in that sense.
I don't know about that. It didn't. Well, okay. So
unless I'm thinking about something different.
I think you're thinking about something different because this was him. If I remember correctly, this was them trying to reconnect after she found out that he was friends with this other woman, the homeless lady or something.
Right, the cleaner.
What movie was this?
Good Deeds.
Good Deeds. Tyler Perry's
Okay.
Good Deeds. So,
okay.
And the premise is that he has his fiancée, Gabrielle Union, who's stuck on herself, and she's super bougie. And then he meets or employs or something another woman who has.
I thought that was all about Eve.
No, that's not a Tyler Perry.
That's not Tyler Perry.
Okay.
That's the one that LL was in.
Yeah. LL and Dwayne Martin.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
LL actually ended up falling in love with the woman that they sent them to just get off their case.
I enjoyed All About Eve.
Yeah, it was funny.
No, it was actually good. It was actually good.
But anyway, getting back to my story, y'all got me down 3 or 4 different holes. Watch it yourself. So
I ain't said a word.
So I'm watching.
You a married man. How dare you?
I am. And my wife was watching me. My wife laughed more at me and my reaction to the film than I laughed at the film. Because I was perplexed. I'm not. She calls me a movie snob. Well, I'm a snob. I've called myself a snob a number of times today. I'm a self-proclaimed movie snob. So there was no progression of plot. It was an old lady hitting on a young man, being vulgar with a young man, then smoking weed in the bathroom, and then Tiana Taylor being as black as possible. And she's not a very good actress. Bow Wow, who was trying. Bow Wow was trying. I'll give him credit. He tried. Bow Wow was trying. Lauren London, I believe is her name. She was
Lauren London. Yeah.
The characters weren't characters; they were caricatures because you had the 2 brother-in-laws who were whipped. One was bougie, and the other was kind of homely and pudgy. The women were just
before we go too far down that rabbit hole.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I told you to watch Family Reunion, which was like one of the first with Cicely Tyson and all that.
Was that
and
Shamar
that was
Moore?
decent.
Was that Shamar Moore?
Probably, but it was in the early on, and that was decent. I never even saw Family Reunion because I saw the trailer and I was like, hell no.
Well, now wait. You say watch Family Reunion,
and then you say you never
Big Happy Family.
Yes, that he said watch the first one. You watched Big Happy.
The first one was Family. You watched
need
Big
to watch
Happy
Family Reunion.
I told you to watch Family Reunion because that one was actually decent. Because that was one of his first, so he actually worked a little harder on it. It wasn't the same old little formula bullshit.
Okay.
Because that clip that Rhonda put on with the baby mama talking about, Byron. Yeah, that was not funny.
That
was irritating as hell.
That's about as far as I got into the film. She did that, and I was like, "Oh no, I can't." Do
and
that.
it had the Meet the Browns people in it, which
Yes,
I can't
it did.
stand.
Yes, it did.
Right. And I don't think Family Reunion has Meet the Browns in it because I can't stand them.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, like you said, that was the early. It was one of the early ones, if not the earliest one. Because actually, I think I want to say the first one that was his was the story that had Angela Bassett and Rick Fox in it, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It had big stars that signed.
Oh, that was Family Reunion?
Yeah, it was decent.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the name. I didn't think that was the name of that one. I thought it was something else. But yeah, like
he
that
didn't make so many of them.
And like you said, it was decent. There are some very hard breaks in it where they go from one thing just straight to a whole nother point. And you're like, wait, how the hell that happened? But it wasn't. The story wasn't as much character, like you said. I think that's a great way to describe what his work seems to turn out to be. That the characters become caricatures of people.
Right. Family Reunion had Blair Underwood, Lynn Whitfield, Boris Kojo, Maya Angelou.
Yeah, that's not the one I'm talking
Keke
about.
Palmer, Cicely Tyson, Henry Simmons. I mean, dude, it was right. It was a decent movie.
Let me see what the one.
That's the one. That's the one I wanted you to watch. And by the way, Mario says that somebody gave him a tape of one of the plays. He said, worst shit he ever saw.
Yeah, no, Mario, you're right, man. And someone suggested that I watch the plays. I was like, no, that's even worse. No, I'm not watching the plays. At least let me watch a film.
Wow, that was the Meet the Browns original thing. Okay, I didn't realize that.
So Family Reunion.
Hey, before we run out of time, back to the Mandalorian. And just to give Mario a little shout out, he said Sasha Banks is in the Mandalorian.
Who's
Sasha Banks?
I think she's a Latina. She's a very beautiful.
She's the one that played the one that came on at the end of the series, the last few episodes.
I guess WWE.
Yeah.
WWE.
Oh yeah. Oh no, wait.
But I like my girl. I forgot her name, but I like my girl who.
This
the badass.
Yeah,
that's somebody different. He's talking about somebody different WWE, but I was about to say I like my girl from Deadpool, who the dude was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry" when her breast came out.
Yeah.
Now she's hot. She's badass.
Okay.
Hey man, don't judge me.
Different strokes for different folks. So Mario,
you damn right.
It was all of the plays. Yeah, all the plays suck. You're right, Mario. What Mario made mention of this show called Comic Shop on HBO.
Cosmic Slop.
He's Cosmic Slop. That's what he's talking about.
Cosmic Slop. I've heard of it. I need to check it out. I think. Are you saying I need to check it out, Mario, or are you just saying that it was on HBO?
I don't know.
That's our third host.
Sasha looks like she's gonna be a.
Since Percy can't be bothered with us no more.
Like she's gonna be
Percy's out saving the world, man. He works for the CDC.
Oh, there he is.
No, Percy's right there.
There's Percy.
Percy's right there.
Yeah, they're saying that her character, from what I'm seeing, the character looks like someone in the dark side of the Force.
Oh.
So she may be a Sith. She may be a Sith.
Okay. Well, we started.
Well, Mario like them evil ass characters.
We started off with The Mandalorian and somehow transitioned from that to Tyler Perry. But we can't go down that rabbit hole any farther, I believe. So the final subject of the evening. So I happened to watch a trailer for a not reboot, but a continuation of a show that we used to watch back in the 80s, I believe. It had to be the 80s.
No, that was the 90s. That was the 90s because it was definitely after my child was. No, you're right. It was the late 80s because Lark Voorhees was in it, and I was like all team Lark.
Well, Lark Voorhees was fine.
Yeah,
she was
back in the day.
That was high school. That was end of high school. First couple years
before she went crazy.
Yeah. But the show I'm referencing is Saved by the Bell. So there is a newer version of Saved by the Bell coming out. I guess Saved by the Bell: The Next Generation. And I guess this version of this show is supposed to be kind of more tongue-in-cheek. Excuse me. Wow, that was nasty. As opposed to the tongue-in-cheek that was the original Saved by the Bell.
Yeah,
My question: do we need it? Do we really want to see these characters and their children interact anymore? Do we need more Saved by the Bell?
First of all, I mean, they're gonna remake everything. There's just no denying they're gonna remake everything. I mean, we've had Charlie's Angels, and the original Charlie's Angels had like 6 different angels in its own self.
Right.
And then you got, the new Charlie's Angels movies with Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu, and
right.
and that was 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that was even dry, before those women even got old enough to well, anyway, it's new Charlie's Angels. So yeah, of course they're gonna make, and they talking about making a new Golden Girl. They talking about making a new Golden Girls.
So the new Saved by the Bell. So the premise
Right.
of the new Saved by the Bell. Slater and the girl who went on to do Showgirls. Elizabeth Berkley is her real name.
Elizabeth, yeah.
They're main characters in this, and I guess their children are interacting with the whole new kids from Bayside High. And
so that they get married and have kids.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
Because I saw Screech is supposed to be the principal of the school.
No, Screech isn't in this. The Screech and Lark Voorhees are not in this.
Oh,
They didn't
okay.
want anything to do with those two.
Really? I thought I saw Screech was supposed to be the principal
No,
of the school.
Screech is not the
Oh wow.
like Mark Paul Gosselaar, Zach Morris, and whatever the girl's name, Tiffany Amber Thiessen. They come back in for guest appearances, but the only regular cast, those 4, Zach, Slater, Kelly, and Tiffany Amber Thiessen, whatever her name is, are the only ones that make an appearance in this show. Lisa.
Wait a minute, how do you get the name perfectly right? Tiffany Amber Thiessen is her exact, and then you say whatever her name is, and you say it right like every time.
No,
Tiffany
he said
Amber
whatever
Thiessen,
the character's name was.
Because
No. What he's trying to do is like, Mrs. Nerd. I really, don't really care about this woman, but Tiffany Amber Thiessen, whatever her name is, whatever her name is.
This show was on. This show was on from '89 to '93, and she was a fine little white girl. I can't front.
I mean, look, we were all in that age group. That was
Right.
that high school. We were
You
still
ever-
around that
hey,
high school time. So
You ever watch White Collar?
No,
She was the wife on White Collar.
really. Well, that's
Yeah, she still look good.
I'm sure she does. But as I was saying, so and not only are they redoing this, but they're redoing it and putting it on the NBC pay-per-view streaming service,
Peacock.
Like, no, we don't need that. No, let those characters go. This is, and I understand what you're saying, DJ, about them remaking everything because there's no original.
They're gonna
I'll
remake
say
everything.
There's no
But
creativity.
first of all,
to that.
black man, it's not for you.
It's not.
It's not. Let them have their Saved by the Bell. It's not for you.
Okay.
Well, you know what's funny when you think about that? Because like, I was thinking about that whole process that it seems like there is no more new creativity, and even what they did with Blackish with Grownish, and it's like the reality to me of what Grownish is like, because for lack of a better term, if you think about it, Blackish was the new Cosby Show, and I did air quotes, DJ. And so after that, the first thing that you have that came out of that is her going off to college. And what they tried to do what I noticed is what they tried to do with that is they tried to make it so extra relevant, so to speak, to today, and trying to be so politically correct, having everybody represented in the storyline, and people are just like, that's a little too much.
Okay, but wait a minute. If you really want to go down that rabbit hole, and if you're going to compare it to the Cosby Show, then you have to truly get it right. If Blackish is the Cosby Show, then Grownish it's a different world.
No, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
You didn't say it. But you didn't say it.
I didn't say that. Well, I said the continuation of it. That's what I was talking about. So that when they did that,
okay, so it's a different world.
It's a different premise when you look at what a different world was about, and the characters, the characters didn't. The characters made the story in a different world.
Mm-hmm.
And with Grownish, they tried to put so much stuff into it, like I said, to seemingly please everybody. Talk about all this included. Right. You got the gay this character, you got the drug dealing this white character, you got the black kids.
It just wasn't real well written. I mean, Kenya Barris is, I give him his props. But that's the funny part is I that's why I like his little show with him and his family. And there's an episode where he has all the so many of the black creators on there. He even has Tyler Perry on that particular show. He has all of them, and they're on like a Zoom meeting, and they basically they come down on so I'm sorry, what was the show? Which one? Blackish, grownish, whitish, which one? Which ish are we talking about? Mixed-ish, yada yada, blah blah blah, And it's they go down the list because they're like, dude, we get it. You getting paid. If they're gonna offer you a check, say, hey, can you make another one? Well, sure I can. How much you gonna pay me? What? Oh, well, hell yeah, I can make another one.
You know that they're going to make another show about Pops and
Olditch. Yeah, because they're gonna pay him. They're gonna pay this man. And what black man out there, is gonna turn down some NBC money or ABC money or whatever when they say, hey, if we give you this, can you make another show? Sure I can. I keep making shows until you stop cashing, until you stop signing checks.
I'd like to say this one thing, and I know I'm in the minority here. I like Grownish. I think it's funny. I am thoroughly entertained by Grownish.
I watched.
That's because you got kids. You got them kids that you can relate. No. I tried to watch it, and it's not. It's not my.
DJ.
I thought it was good.
DJ,
what?
I got kids too, and no.
No, but I'm saying I don't. I'm saying I don't have kids.
Right, but so I don't like it.
Oh, okay. Well, what do you like? What do you like, Roy?
Well, Roy. Well, before Roy answers that, here's my thing. I think Kenya Barris, and this will be a subject for another show because we could talk about this for another hour. But Kenya Barris is slowly building an empire. God bless him.
Absolutely.
But he's on this one-trick pony thing where, and his work is very divisive because I know people who like Blackish but don't like Grownish, but like Mixed-ish, and people who, well, to be honest, I don't know anybody who likes Mixed-ish. But there are people who like Blackish, don't like Grownish, don't like Blackish. And it's just, it becomes this thing where he's got, I want to see him, and then he's got Black AF on Netflix, which I found to be not funny by any stretch of the imagination.
I didn't even watch it.
It was, you should
I watched it.
See? You like little kids.
I watched it all the way through.
Never ate a tomato.
And I liked it.
Yeah, I mean,
I watched the clips.
But the great thing about this is that we are not a monolith, and we actually have these choices now.
Yeah,
which is
absolutely
fantastic. And
fantastic.
I can actually say there's a black show out there that I don't like because I know that there are black folk out there who's that audience who. Same thing with Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, I don't think I'm still going to watch. You said Family Reunion.
Actually, Family Reunion and Meet the Browns.
No, please don't do Meet the Browns.
No. The Meet the Browns movie was not that bad. That was because the story wasn't about the Browns. It was the Angela Bassett character, and really it was about the story of dealing with her and Rick Fox.
All right.
That's the part of so it's actually good.
Okay.
Like I said, there are just some hard stops in it or transitions.
Okay. So
I'm
definitely
real quick. Let me just say this one thing.
What's up?
Let me just say this one thing about because you brought up Tyler Perry and Kenya Barris. Is it Kenya Barris or Burris?
Yes.
Barris.
Kenya Burris. I don't know. Kenya.
Barris.
Kenya.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I have about the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You know, you're building your empire, and when you're building, you know, your empire, I think Blackish was his baby, his love, and Netflix Black AF was just like, hey, this is cool, you know, this is extra. We can, you know, curse, we can do it's no, but I think it was more than that. It was like, oh, you know, this ain't ABC. We can do some extra, you know, I can really get raw here and have some fun with it. And so I think that was fun for him. My thing with Grownish and maybe even Oldish is the same complaint that people have with Tyler Perry, is that you've got the power now. You should relinquish, you should delegate. You should get writers or get, you know, people who are familiar with that content to write that content. You know, you have the power to do that. You have the power to say, I'm the producer. It's going to be a Kenya Barris, you know, production, but here, let me get somebody who can actually make it their baby and get into it, and I'll supervise it, I'll produce it, you know, I'll make sure it's good, but somebody who really can relate to the subject matter. And I think that's what's going on right now, is that it's great that these guys are building their franchises, but we got to take it to the next level where they actually bring in creators that know what the fuck they're doing with that content.
Okay. Point taken. Again, from Saved by the Bell, we went back to Tyler Perry and Kenya Barris. I think next week, we should really when we have time, we really need to dive deep into the whole Kenya Barris, Tyler Perry, and Shonda Rhimes dynamic in terms of just Black creators and the shows that we have. I think that would be a pretty solid discussion. But we are now at 4-man enter, 1-man leave. And because we on that fat man shit today, we going to talk about which one you want above all the rest. Which empire stands on the mountaintop of grease and dead animal flesh that you enjoy the most? We've got Burger King, we've got McDonald's, we've got Taco Bell, and I don't care what nobody says, we got Arby's. I don't care what nobody says. Every day on the internet, I come across somebody who's trying to make a joke like it's the first person to say it. Who eats at Arby's? I don't know nobody eats at Arby's. Thank you, Roy. I raise my hand every time. I am a proud Arby's consumer. Thank you. I'm a proud Arby's consumer. I will go if all 4 of these are in line. I will go to Arby's, and everybody in my house will groan because they hate the fact that I love me some Arby's. but I
you still eat Brown's chicken too, don't
you? Does Brown's chicken even still exist? Does it? Does Brown's
I'm
chicken
sure there's a
exist?
white suburb out there somewhere. They're like,
I'm gonna look that up. Brown's chicken. Wow. I haven't heard.
Hey,
that.
Roy, can you do me a favor and take Baby Yoda off that motherfucker?
Right. We're not getting paid any royalties from him getting from his sales. So yeah. Okay, so DJ, which one's coming up first?
Arby's.
You got problems, man. You got problems.
Of course.
We have the meats. The only problem is I never seen one of them motherfuckers around anywhere. I've never seen an Arby's like, I don't know. It's like Jack in the Box. I ain't seen no Arby's.
Jack in the Box. Oh my God, you're old. Okay. So Roy is
really, Roy? Really? Burn.
That was great. That was fantastic. That's right. Baby Yoda used the force and jumped on your shoulder. All right, Roy. Which one's the first one?
Oh God, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
I don't.
Okay.
I can't eat Taco Bell.
Can't eat Taco Bell. I have to say Taco Bell would be the first one off the list for me. Who you got next, DJ?
You quiero Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. All
I was
right.
looking for the dog too.
Taco Bell. Oh Jesus.
Only because it's truly like a White Castle's type of thing.
Yeah.
I have to be like in that. Okay,
You got to be drunk.
Fuck
To
it.
say what it is.
yeah, I'm drunk. Taco Bell is right there.
And they're
Fucking
open.
Taco Bell.
So
They're open.
a friend of mine, Tracy Jones, he always says Taco Bell has 7 ingredients, and everything they do is just a riff off those same 7 ingredients. No matter what you
Same
get,
thing.
it's got those same
Whatever you
ingredients.
get, it's the
may
same
have
ingredients.
You may have some more of those ingredients, or you may have a little bit less, but it's the same 7 ingredients, and you're not getting anything new. All right, Roy, you said Taco Bell first. Who's next?
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Wow. Okay. So I said Taco Bell first. Yeah, McDonald's is next off the list for me. All right, DJ, who's the next one off the list, and who is your king of the mountaintop of fast food?
Well, it's an economics thing.
Okay.
It's an economical situation. McDonald's refuses to charge a decent price for a damn fish fillet. Otherwise, I love the fish fillet, but they refuse to charge a decent price for it. I'm not paying $6 for a damn fish fillet for a tiny ass sandwich that's about yay big, with some guy, like basically putting a dollop on there like he just, I'm not, no, it's okay.
Okay. All right, Roy.
Yeah, McDonald's have to go.
Who's third off your list, and who's on your mountaintop?
Burger King's got to go. I love Arby's. I absolutely love Arby's, man. And as much as I worked at Burger King, and I used to love Burger King's food, but if I have to choose between them and Arby's, I'm taking Arby's all the time, man.
Nice.
They're different sandwiches. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm torn. I know McDonald's is already off my board, but you can get a gallon of sweet tea for $1 at McDonald's. Those drinks are huge.
Oh, you were being facetious.
No
Okay.
matter what size drink you get, you only get $1. And God bless you, McDonald's, for that. Thank you. But no, McDonald's is already gone. Burger King gets points for me because they sell onion rings too.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yes, sir.
But they're at one point in time, Burger King. Every now and again, Burger King likes to roll out the tacos that they sell, which are just
bad idea.
which are a complete utter joke. Their tacos, just like, stop it? What are you thinking? So for that reason, Burger King is off the board for me, and Arby's, yes, they have the meats. I am with Arby's. Arby's is just
meat. It's real meat.
Yeah, that beef and cheddar sandwich.
Yeah.
Every time.
I can go to Arby's, and there are very few of their sandwiches that I won't eat.
Yeah.
Like there's next to nothing that you know what? I ain't tried that. Let me try this. I don't go back to Burger King, and like I said, I love Burger King. You get a double Whopper, get a regular Whopper. Well, actually, I don't even like regular Whoppers because it's not enough meat. The buns have gotten too thick at Burger King, and it's like I love now. One of the best sandwiches that you can ever get from Burger King is a fresh chicken sandwich. Like if you want a really good sandwich from Burger King, tell them I want my chicken sandwich cooked fresh out of the grease, not reheated, cooked fresh, and have them do it and make it like Whopper. I mean, those chicken sandwiches fresh are like amazing. They've always been that way.
Okay.
So I remember we used to take them home and cook them at home too. So yeah.
Well, okay. Here's the thing with Burger King too. They have cheese sticks, mozzarella sticks, and Arby's has mozzarella sticks too. And Arby's mozzarella sticks are so damn good. Arby's just those sides. Arby's sides just
love their French fries.
You can't
curly fries. Yeah.
Yeah. Arby's. For those of you watching, this is your PSA. Stop by an Arby's. Get you a beef and cheddar. Yeah, that's right. Give me the single shot. Get you a beef and cheddar. Get you an order of 4 cheese sticks, and get you a Dr. Pepper. I guarantee you, they'll change your life. That's my PSA.
DJ, repeat what you just said. We didn't have your screen.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it in the Ving Rhames voice. Come on now.
we have the meats.
Arby's.
When you go to Arby's, okay, here's my big range invitation. When you go to Arby's, make sure you get a beef and cheddar, 4-count mozzarella sticks, and a Dr. Pepper. Arby's, we have the meats. There we go. Thank you.
No. Hey, Roy, put me front and center.
Oh, here we go.
No, put me front and center.
Here we go.
Oh, hold on.
Now. You don't get to be front and center. It's me again.
Come on, Roy.
Okay, I
Don't
got
play
you,
me
man.
like that.
It
Come
was
on.
taking a minute to come up.
Thank you.
Oh, he's gonna be an ass.
You like McDonald's? You like Burger King? See, that's pride fucking with you. Fuck pride. Pride never helps. It only hurts. Go to Arby's. There you go.
So what movie is that
What
from?
was that?
What movie was that from? That wasn't one of the Mission Impossible ones, was it? It sounded
No, that's
vaguely
Pulp Fiction, baby.
Pulp Fiction.
That's
Okay,
Pulp
yeah,
Fiction.
that's right. It vaguely
Pulp
sounded
Fiction.
familiar. Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Well, you know what? We're completely off the rails, so this is as good a time as any. If you've been rocking with us from the beginning, thank you so very much for joining us every week. Continue to watch us, and you'll see much more tomfoolery.
Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special Lord is
If you're
don't
new to the
upset it.
show, we'll try and keep
Like
DJ from singing again
Serve it your
next
way.
week.
It's
And
so
we
good.
hope you enjoyed yourself. Please come back for more. For Uncle DJ and Uncle Roy and Uncle Percy, who is invisible right now. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you next week. Peace and blessings.
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth